Palestine is small,
Yes.
but the beauty, every city has its own character. You know, it's like you are going to different countries, but has the same zeal for Palestine, the same passion for Palestine, and they learn a lot. We go, we meet with the governor or the mayor and with the Chamber of Commerce, with the youth organizations, and they eat what is the best there, especially when you go to Nablus, Al-Kinafa, you know, and you go to Hebron, you know, they give you the food, the Palestinian food, and the way they cook it in Hebron, and they explain to them, and they see the museum, they see the, you know, the businesses, how it works, they see everything.
Every Palestinian has his or her own story in the diaspora. It could be a sad story, it could be a success story. One of the worst stories is that of the founder of the Know Thy Heritage Palestinian American Organization, Mr. Rateb Rabie, who is visiting Palestine these days with 35 delegates on a program to know more about the homeland of their forefathers. Welcome to our program.
Thank
Mr.
you for having me.
Rateb. And I would like to start with you about your journey from Palestine to the United States and your life there. As we said, it is a success story.
My story started in Amman, Jordan, actually, because my parents were in Jerusalem in 1948, and they forced out to leave their home, and they went to Jordan with 5 of my siblings, and went to Jordan, and they have another 4, and I was one of them. You know, stayed in Jordan till I have finished my secondary school, you know, Tawjih. Then I went to study in the United States, and I stayed there. After I got married and I have my kids, you know, but I kept in touch with the Middle East or the Arab countries, yes.
Yes. And you started your life in the United States.
Right.
And what field did you start your work in?
You know, actually I did business management at that time with college, but I started my work as opening a business in export-import, and I was focusing on exporting cars to the Middle East, you know, till, you know, 81, got married, then I got a contract in Saudi Arabia, and I became the director of operations for a British Saudi company, you know, doing all type of supports for hospitals, schools, and companies, and all of that. Then that was with my wife, and I have 2 daughters who were born in Saudi Arabia. From that, I would say 5 years, and I went back to Jordan to see what is the situation. Always you feel, you know, you want to come live in where you were born. And as you know, I couldn't come here because I don't have the Hawiyya, I didn't have anything, but I was in Jordan. And I stayed for 2-3 years, then the Gulf War started, and I had to go back to the United States.
Yes, and Sir Rateb, you are here with 35 delegates on a program to let them know more about Palestine, understand the reality on the ground in Palestine, and to take the message back with them to the United States and the other countries they are coming from as Palestinian expatriates. And this program is organized by the organization that you founded, Know Thy Heritage, KTH. Tell me about how the idea of the KTH started and what programs you were interested in.
You know, that's before that, always I looked as a Palestinian activist,
yeah,
you know, trying to find something how we can reach the American audience. And been for a long time with all the Arab American organizations, we failed really to reach that many Americans, you know. We did a lot of activism, we did a lot of demonstrations, and we tried to reach the media, but you know, it's always you've been cut off. And I looked at how the Zionist movement they do their plans. They have the best marketing plans.
Yeah.
I said, why do I have to invent new things? I just follow their way of doing it. They became Christians more than the Christians themselves. Where in order to do that, they start targeting the evangelicals, where the evangelicals they learned how they think, then they brought them back, into supporting their mission, to bring all Jews to the Holy Land. And I said, hey, I'm a Palestinian Christian. If you look at the Bible, Act 2, 10 to 16, the Arab there were when the church started. That means we are the Palestinians, we are a holy people, because we started, we are not converts. I said, why we cannot tap on on that source of power that we are the Palestinian Christians, the original Christians, and we are the forgotten faithful, because everybody thinks that all the Arabs are Muslims, and that's which is wrong, because the Arabs are Muslims and Christians, and they thought all Muslims are Arab, which is not true, because the Arabs only 12% of Islam, and it's all over there, all over the world. Now that started while I'm working on that to reach out to started the Holy Land Christian Economical Foundation. 3 years while I have my business. At one point I said I cannot do both. I have to drop one of them. I decided to drop my business and take over the Holy Land Christian Economical Foundation full time, and I start working on it and start reaching out to the American Christians through the churches. If you are a Christian, that means you believe in peace and justice. And that's what they study. They have courses in the universities, peace and justice, peace and justice. Then let's follow what's happening. Then this is how we managed to establish the Holy Land Christian Economical Foundation. While I'm working, trying to find another projects, how we can work with different type of people. I did the pilgrimages on to bring the Americans to come to the Holy Land, to know what is the Holy Land and who are the Christians of the Holy Land. And they found out we are Palestinians. And this is defeat the theory of Israel saying it is a religious conflict between Judaism and Islam. Yes. But we are the Christian, the Palestinian Christians, we are suffering as much as the Muslims. That means it's not a religious conflict. It is a political conflict over the land. And that's where it starts moving, and I starts promoting the Palestinian Christians. It wasn't there, till we start working on it and starts people understanding it's political, not religion. Then I created, while I working with the American to bring them as pilgrims, then created first trip, for Americans, young people of Palestinian origin to come to Palestine. It took off, and I did it with a Palestinian businessman, Hashim Shawa, and then we started. Then I continue with that because he's a businessman, and I'm focusing on peace and justice, human rights issues and things like that. And starts every year to bring a group of people from around the world. We end up now 350 ambassadors for Palestine from 20 countries. And that's how that KTH started. And we're still going. We stopped for 2 years. We didn't bring any because of the corona. But now we are back. This year, as you said, 35. They are from 10 countries, you know. And this is the only Palestinian American or Palestinian organization in 20 countries, and it's not only in one country, and that's how the success and people are joining us. The problem is it needs funding, because this is another Zionist idea of the birthright for them. They bring all the young Jewish, to Israel, but that's backfire at them, because They tell them something and they find out something else. And these young people, the Jewish young people, they have the heart and the mind. And when they find out it's not true what they say, this has affected their program. But in our case, it is, we don't have to lie. We have the truth. And we just have to continue with it and to bring these young people here. And they are all professionals, you know, students. And we choose them, we interview them. You know, like this year, I have 100 applicants, and we chose the 35.
Yes.
You know.
And Sir Rateb, we know how the IPAC and the Zionist lobby in the United States is tarnishing the Palestinian narrative all the time. So your program is of a great value. If you tell me to what extent you're able, through such tools and such programs, to affect the narrative in the American society when it comes to Israel-Palestine.
You see, most of the activists, the Palestinian activists like myself, we are the old school.
Yeah.
It doesn't work anymore, you know. Mm-hmm. We have to penetrate the American system. And we are, you know, Palestinian or Arabs, you know, always, we don't mix with the American society. We go to our own churches, to our own mosques, you know, and we don't know what's happening with the Americans. Then the young people, they start growing and seeing it differently. The social media developed, and these young people, they know about it. Then how we can make the changes? The changes is to bring them to Palestine, to know Palestine, in order to have first-hand information and take it and work with it.
Yeah.
This is, KTH has 3 stages. First stage is recruiting. Second stage is the training, the journey, the visit to Palestine. And the third one, what we should do after we go back. Now, today is almost the last day, and this is where our work's gonna start. You know,
yeah.
What we are gonna do. In order to do that, they have to encourage them as a leadership program, how to involve with the Palestinian organizations, how to change the way of how they do activism, and inject, you know, the knowledge they have about Palestine. They came here, they saw everything, and I asked them to come as a Palestinian.
Yeah.
Don't come as any faction of anybody, because, you know, when you have a government, you have a president, regardless what's your party, you are serving all Palestinians.
Yes, and how do you guarantee the achievement of the outcome and the goal that you are seeking through these programs? Okay, they come to Palestine, they go back to the United States and the other countries. How do you follow up that?
This is how we do it. You know, like, you know, what you as you started, sometimes it's success stories. Yeah. This is a success story because for several reasons. We are not, to be frank with you, we are not capitalizing on it to the maximum because of lack of funding. But look, here it is. We visited the foreign ministry. Now we have at least 3. They are in different embassies. They came here and they know how to work with the embassies. It is with experience. They know Palestine. They know the languages where they are located in, and that's something, you know, we need more of these people to take over the embassies to work for Palestine. Yeah. That's one. Second, we don't ask them to work for KTH as organization. Yes, we need them, but at the same time, they are working with other Palestinian, American, Australian, European Palestinian organization in order to improve on it, in order to show the youth are taking over in a new way of management, a new way of leadership. And that's how the success we have. We have several names and people, you know, where they are with other organizations, and they are running it differently, and they have first-hand information, and they can answer any question, you know, they ask, you know, about the situation, because sometimes you hear about you know, all negativity about Palestine. No, we show them the good, the bad, and the ugly, and they know there is hope. There is something we can take out to the world.
And to what degree you think these people who come to Palestine and go back to the United States and the countries that they are coming from have influence on the public opinion there, and to some extent the American Congress, the American foreign policy vis-a-vis the Palestinian cause?
Let me explain something, here, how we can reach to the Congress.
Yeah.
Several times we met with congressmen, and they tell you, I believe in your cause. It is just cause, but you don't have the money and the number. Okay? What you are gonna do? I want money and I want a number in order to be successful.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Then what we have to do is to develop the citizen diplomacy. Even if you are not into activism directly, but each one in the position where is he or she working, become advocate for Palestine.
Yes.
If you're a doctor, you start training and talking to them about Palestine, to your colleagues, to your friends, then you expand. Either you are an engineer, the same thing. In management, the same thing. This is what we are working on, to expand the number. Maybe I don't say, I'm representing 100,000 or 200,000. I represent nobody, but I am representing the power of Palestine, and I am spreading the word and making people believe in what is Palestine and the just cause we have. This is how we affect the Congress. Now, when I started SCF, I didn't go to the Congress to lobby because I don't have the number as a Palestinian. And then they send me an aid. Okay, they take notes, and they said, okay, I'll pass it to the congressman. But I don't think so. They throw it in the trash, and I stopped that. But when I go to a church in Ohio or in Michigan or in California, they bring their representative to meet with me. Otherwise, because these are the churches, the members who are voting for him and make him or her a congressman or woman. This is how it works. You need to be creative into activism. You need to be creative on how to reach the Congress. Yes, I remember 30 years ago when I was still young and started working, every resolution at the Congress, 100% against us.
Yeah.
But now you can see the difference. There is some changes. That give you hope, give you inspiration. We are not there yet, but we know how to fight for it now. Yeah. We are learning. Our people start involving in the political core of how you can be part of the system rather than be outside of the system.
Yes. And also, Sir Rateb, we see the demonstrations when the Israeli occupation bombarded Gaza and when the Israeli occupation assassinated the Palestinian journalist Shireen Abu Akleh. We saw large demonstrations in the United States by the Palestinian community and other pro-justice people against this Israeli policy. Also, we have the squad at the Congress like Rashida Tlaib and other pro-Palestinian Congress members. Do you think that things are going now in the right direction and we will have the moment when we affect the American policy towards the Palestinians?
Of course. The only problem we don't have an organized Palestinian leadership.
Yeah.
We are all leaders and we don't have chiefs like the Americans. We don't have something, usually something happen, okay? Yeah. I get a call from the press. They want a statement. I say something. They go to other leader and the other leader. Maybe we'll say the same thing, but we are not coordinating.
Yeah.
We need, if something happen like that, we need talking points, we need a statement, distribute it to all of them, then we talk the same language.
Yes.
Then we'll be more powerful. And that's, we don't have it. Now, yes, gonna be effective, we need to put our heads together, we need to work to promote the Palestinian cause, not to promote ourselves.
Yes.
And this is the most important thing in how we have to be successful and how to coordinate, with our leadership in Palestine. Regardless if we have differences or not, this is internally, but when we go out, we have to be different. We have to be focusing on who is our enemy. And we don't have that yet.
Yeah. And back to your program here in Palestine these days, if you tell me about the feelings, the impression, the attitudes that the 35 delegates with you got during their visit to different Palestinian cities and different Palestinian sites.
To start with, Palestine is small,
Yes.
but the beauty, every city has its own character. You know, it's like you are going to different countries, but has the same zeal for Palestine, the same passion for Palestine, and they learn a lot. We go, we meet with the governor or the mayor and with the Chamber of Commerce, with the youth organizations, and they eat what is the best there, especially when you go to Nablus, Al-Kinafa, you know, and you go to Hebron, you know, they give you the food, the Palestinian food, in the way they cook it in Hebron, and they explain to them, and they see the museum, they see the, you know, the businesses, how it works, they see everything, you know. It is a long day, you know, for them from 6 o'clock almost till 12 o'clock, because every night I put them together and we start reflecting on the day, what you learned, how we can make the changes. You take them to corporate America, they see these young people dressed up, it's like what we have in the States, and then I take them to the camp and they see the misery of the people there and the jobless, the unemployed, but they are resilient Palestinians, and this is make them, you know, what they want to do, to be like this way, or we have to build it to that way, and this is how they do that. Now they are on fire. If you go now and talk to them, and they'll tell you we are ready to do what we're supposed to do as a Palestinian, and when we are gonna start recruiting for next trip, how we can do this, you know. They are now hitting me with a lot of questions. Still, I don't have answers. I wanna see how I'm gonna organize them to start the movement, as now we have another 35 graduates to the other 350. Then we are in business.
Yeah. So my final question to you, Sir Rateb, this program and this tour is a great success as far as I understand from you. So what is your planning for the next year and for the future? How can you elaborate and build on this?
You know, the thing here, it is always, you know, it is a volunteering organization.
Yes.
And it needs the funding. If you have the funding, we have a strategic plan. How we're gonna set up committees or even register it in every country to be the Palestinian diaspora. Not we are diaspora, we are serving the diaspora. Because a lot of them don't know about diaspora and how to be served, and to encourage them to do things. And the plans is, yes, to start working, organizing ourselves. We started now with the shadow board of directors for the young people to start taking over and training them as board of directors. Then we don't have, when the board of directors finish his term or her term, then we can bring them from the shadow board of directors. We are, you know, scientifically based organization now. We have a strategy and we are working on it.
Rateb Rabie, founder and director of KTH. Thank you very much. It has been a great honor having you on our program.
Thank you very much.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. And from you, Osama Nazal. Have a nice time.